You have mastered every manipulation technique. You spent months in the gym sculpting the perfect body. You put on the right clothes that scream status. You are using the dark triad, scanning her reactions. You approach her. You feel like a predator. You open your mouth, and in that very second, everything collapses. Your entire image, all your preparation, crumbles into dust. Why? Because you sound like a little boy asking his mommy for permission to have a cookie. Your voice is high, tight, and fussy. It comes from somewhere in your throat, cracking into falsetto at the slightest sign of nervousness. To you, it is just a sound, but to her subconscious, it is an air raid siren. It is the smell of cortisol, the smell of insecurity, the smell of fear. In the wild, a high-pitched, sharp squeal is the sound made by prey being eaten. A low, guttural growl is the sound made by the predator doing the eating. This is the law of the jungle that we brought with us into our concrete cities. A woman does not listen to your words. Words are logic, but attraction is irrational. She listens to the vibration. Albert Mehrabian's studies revealed a frightening statistic: 38% of your influence on an interlocutor is how you sound. Words account for a pathetic 7%. The rest is nonverbal. Think about that. If you say the smartest, boldest, and most correct things with a weak, tight voice, to her, you are a liar. Your body betrays your weakness. But if you read a phone book in a hypnotic bass with the right pauses, you will sound like a god, like someone she wants to submit to. The great Carl Jung spoke of the persona concept, the mask we wear before society. Your squeaky voice is your broken persona. It does not protect you, it betrays you. But inside you, in your shadow, lies another voice. The voice of Logos, the primal masculine force, capable of bringing order to feminine chaos. Today we will rip off the mask of weakness. I will give you what I promised. These are not choir lessons. These are practical tools from old-school actors. And special ops officers who need to suppress an opponent will with a single phrase. We will not be learning tongue twisters. We will change your biological frequency. We will drop your voice from your head down to your gut, to the place where true power is born. This video will save you years of failure and awkward silences. But I must warn you, this knowledge works flawlessly, and it requires responsibility. If you are ready to receive this instrument of influence, like this video right now, this is your entry fee into the territory of biological hypnosis. And if you are here for the first time and are not afraid of the truth about your nature, subscribe. And before we begin, a quick honesty test. Write the number 1 in the comments if you like your voice on a recording, or the number 2 if you hate listening to your own voice messages. Let us see how many of us there are. Physics of Domination. Before we move on to the exercises and start breaking your vocal cords, you must understand the mechanics of the process. If you do not understand WH works, you will not be able to use it. It is not magic. And these are not pickup tricks. This is pure biophysics and evolutionary biology. Let us go back 50,000 years. In a world with no police and no laws, size matters. The larger the individual, the larger their chest cavity. The larger the chest cavity, the longer the vocal cords and the lower the sound they produce. This is the law of acoustics. A double bass is always bigger than a violin. A low voice for a female of our species is an evolutionary safety marker. It screams the owner of this sound has high testosterone, strong genes, and a massive body. He can protect me and my offspring. A high voice is a marker of immaturity or panic. But there is something even deeper. Something ordinary speech coaches stay silent about. Women hearing is biologically better and more refined than men. Evolution sharpened their ears to hear the slightest change in a sleeping baby breathing or the snap of a twig under a predator paw. They are perfect acoustic sensors. Asterisk, and this is where the resonance effect comes into play. A low, deep male voice works in a range close to infrasound. Sound waves of this frequency have a physical peculiarity: they pass through barriers better than high frequencies. When you speak with a high head voice, the sound hits her eardrums and gets stuck in the brain analytical center. She starts thinking about your words. She evaluates them. She looks for a catch, but when you activate the chest resonator, your voice turns into a physical wave. This wave literally hits her body. It bypasses the ears and affects the tactile receptors of the skin. It resonates in her chest, in her solar plexus, and most importantly, in her lower abdomen. She feels your voice with her internal organs. This causes micro-vibration of the tissues. From a neurobiology perspective, low frequencies calm the amygdala, the fear center, and activate the production of oxytocin. A short circuit happens in her head. High voice in the throat means he is nervous. I feel anxiety. I need to close up. Low voice in the chest means he is a rock. I feel safe. I want to be closer. Jung called this meeting the archetype of the father or the chief. This is authority that requires no proof. You do not ask for attention, you take it with your presence. Asterisk, deep dive neurobiology and psychology, but let us dig even deeper. To a place where ordinary rhetoric coaches are afraid to look. Let us talk about what happens in her head at the neurochemical level when she hears this low, vibrating spectrum. It is not just a pleasant sound. It is a hack of her operating system through the vagus nerve. You have probably heard of the vagus nerve. It is the main highway connecting the brain to the heart, lungs, and reproductive system. It is the master switch of modes in the human body. It has two states. The first is mobilization, the fight or flight state. When you hear a high, sharp sound, the screech of brakes, a baby crying, or the cracking voice of an insecure man, your vagus nerve instantly shifts the organism into alarm mode. Heart rate increases, blood drains from the stomach and sexual organs to the muscles. In this state, libido is physically switched off. A woman cannot want sex if her body believes a source of instability is nearby. A high voice to her is a signal of chaos. But there is a second state, the state of social engagement and safety. And the only way to switch her nervous system into this mode remotely is through low-frequency vibration. When you speak with a chest bass, you generate a sound wave that resonates with the resting frequency of the human body. You literally massage her nervous system from a distance. Her pulse slows down. Her muscles relax. Blood begins to flow to the pelvic organs. This is not a metaphor. It is physiology. You become a walking tranquilizer for her, not one that puts her to sleep, but one that removes barriers of control. She stops analyzing your words and starts feeling your presence. This is where we encounter what Carl Jung called the shadow. Why is your voice so weak right now? You are not born with it. Look at babies. When a baby screams, you can hear it 3 floors away. His voice is powerful. His diaphragm works perfectly. But then upbringing begins. Do not shout. Be quiet. Be a good boy. For years, society, parents, and teachers forced you to suppress your volume. You were taught to be convenient. And every time you wanted to growl, to show aggression, or make a demand, you tightened your throat. Your current voice is a scar. It is muscle memory of thousands of situations where you decided to stay silent or speak quieter to avoid provoking conflict. You castrated your sound to fit into society. You learned to speak only with the upper part of yourself, with your head, intellect, and logic. You cut off the connection with the bottom, with your gut, with sexuality, with aggression. A woman hears this instantly. If your voice has no access to the bottom, she reads you as a safe, sexless friend, like a eunuch at court. Because a voice devoid of low frequencies is the voice of a man who is afraid of his own power. And if you are afraid of your own power, how can you protect her? To reclaim your voice, you must commit an act of psychological violence against your past. You must allow yourself to sound dirty, to sound loud, to sound dangerous. A low voice is always a hidden threat. It is a hint that there is a beast inside you that is currently sleeping, but can wake up. And the paradox is that exactly this hint of potential danger makes you maximally attractive. A woman does not need a safe man. She needs a dangerous man who controls his danger. And voice is the best indicator of this control. Let us analyze another nuance that textbooks are silent about: the concept of tempo and status. Listen to how people with low social rank speak. They chatter. They try to cram the maximum amount of words into the minimum amount of time. Why? Because their subconscious screams, "I am about to be interrupted. My time is worth nothing. I must finish saying this while they are listening to me." Fast speech is a marker of deficit. A deficit of status. Now recall how kings in movies, mafia godfathers, or experienced interrogators speak. They speak slowly, monstrously slowly. They pause where a normal person would be afraid of silence. They stretch their vowels. They never rush. Why? Because they know no one will dare to interrupt them. Their time is unlimited. When you slow down your speech, you artificially raise your status in the eyes of others. You broadcast, "I am so important that you will wait for the next word as long as I want." This is called chrono-domination. You seize the interlocutor time, and it works hypnotically. When you speak slowly, with a low voice, the woman brain is forced to adjust to your rhythm. She slows down with you. She falls into a light trance. This is the moment when critical thinking shuts off, and you gain direct access to her subconscious. Try this today, in a conversation with a cashier, with a colleague, with a girl. Slow down by half. Do not be afraid to seem strange. You will see how their gaze changes. They will start looking at you more attentively. They will feel the weight of your words, because weight is only possessed by that which is delivered with weight. But back to physics. There is one more secret that opera singers and broadcasters use to make their voice not just low, but voluminous. It is the yawn. When you yawn, something interesting happens in your mouth. Your soft palate, the little tongue in the back of your throat, rises up like a parachute dome, and the root of the tongue goes down. At this moment, the pharynx becomes wide, like the pipe of a cathedral. A huge resonant space is created. Most men speak with a flat throat. Their soft palate is lowered. The tongue is tight. The sound comes out flat, like hitting a cardboard box. Your task is to learn to speak on a hidden yawn. Right now, try to yawn without opening your mouth, with lips closed. Feel how everything expanded inside, how a sensation of a dome appeared in your mouth. Remember this state, and try to say any phrase while maintaining this dome. You will hear your voice acquire a steel quality. This is called impedance. You created ideal acoustic conditions for the sound wave to exit. This is exactly how trailer narrators for Hollywood movies speak. They do not push on their vocal cords. They simply keep the dome open. This creates an effect as if your voice is sounding not from your mouth, but from cinema speakers. It fills the room. It envelops. And here it is important to understand the difference between loudness and projection. A weak man, to be heard, starts to shout. He raises the volume by straining his cords. The sound becomes sharp, unpleasant, hitting the ears. A strong man does not shout. He projects. He uses resonator's chest, the dome in the mouth, to send a quiet sound to the furthest corner of the room. Imagine, you want to touch a person standing 10 meters away with your voice. Not shout at him, but touch him. You send the sound like a directed beam. This creates an effect of intimacy at a distance. A woman feels that you are speaking personally to her even if there is a crowd around. This is that very charisma everyone is looking for. And one more nail in the coffin of your insecurity: articulation, diction. This is not about clearly pronouncing letters. This is about aggression. Listen to how alpha males speak. They literally chew their words. They bite into consonant sounds. The letters R, T, K, D sound hard with them, like hammer strikes. In linguistics, consonant sounds are responsible for meaning and structure, while vowels are responsible for emotion. When you swallow endings, when you mumble, you show that your structure is weak. You are amorphous. Clear, hard articulation of consonants is a demonstration of will. You are not too lazy to pronounce words. You respect your speech. You mint every word like a coin. Subconsciously, this is read as reliability. If he controls his speech like this, it means he controls his life the same way. Stop being lazy with your lips. Your mouth is an apparatus for controlling reality. If the apparatus is loose, reality will not obey you. Your task now is to realize the mistake. You speak with your head. That is where your thoughts, your fears, and your social anxiety live. Your voice is clamped in the vice of your intellect. We must lower it into the chest and gut, to where instincts, hunger, and power live, to where your shadow lives. How to do this physically in 5 minutes. Let us move to practice. Exercise 1. Royal exhale. Why, when you are calm at home, does your voice sound normal, but as soon as you approach a beautiful girl or a boss, you start wheezing or squeaking? The answer lies in your physiology. Most modern men sound like castrados, for one simple reason: they have forgotten how to breathe. Look at yourself in the mirror. Sucked in your stomach? Squared your shoulders to look wider? Congratulations, you just killed your voice by sucking in your stomach. You create muscle armor. You block the diaphragm, the main muscle that acts as a pump for your sound. When the diaphragm is tight, air cannot go down to the bottom of the lungs. You are forced to breathe with the top of your chest, raising your shoulders. This is stress breathing. It sends a signal via the vagus nerve straight to the brain danger. Fight or flight. The vocal cords spasm, the larynx rises, and your voice becomes thin and flat. You are choking yourself. The first exercise is called the royal exhale. Its goal is to break this spasm and switch your nervous system from victim mode to master mode. Practice. Stand up straight. Feet shoulder width apart. Put one hand on your navel. Take a deep breath through your nose, but with one condition: your shoulders must remain motionless. Push the air down so that your hand on your stomach moves forward. Imagine that inside you, around your belt area, a heavy leather ball is inflating, and now a sharp, powerful exhale through a widely open mouth with the sound ha, not a ha, from the throat, like you are warming your hands, but a guttural, hard ha that flies out from the very bottom of your stomach, as if you took a punch to the gut but are pushing it back out. Ha. At this moment, your diaphragm contracts sharply, and the larynx instinctively drops down. You will feel that the sound is born not in the mouth, but somewhere in the pelvic area. This is your true center of gravity. Your acoustic core. Do 10 of these exhales every morning. This is not just a vocal warm-up. It is a signal to your ancient brain: I am safe. I am big. I have the right to sound loud. In a week, you will notice that even in stressful situations, your voice will stop cracking. You will gain what Jung called grounding. Exercise 2. Chest RMBLE. Now that we have support, we need sound quality. A low voice is not just a low note in frequency. If you simply try to speak bass by straining your throat, you will sound comical and unnatural. The secret of a hypnotic voice is in overtones. These are additional sound nuances that give the voice meat, velvet, and volume. Imagine the difference between a cheap plywood violin and a Stradivarius cello. The note is the same, but the cello body resonates so that the air around it trembles. Your body is the instrument body, but you only use the attic, the head, and nose, forgetting about the huge basement. Your chest cavity. Exercise monk or chest elevator. Practice. Take that same breath with your stomach that we just learned. Close your lips, but do not clench your teeth. Leave a small distance between them. Start making the sound. Attention. Mistake. If your lips or nose tickle, you are doing it wrong. You sound like a mosquito. Task. Lower the sound. Imagine you have an elevator in your throat, and it is going down. Direct the sound into the sternum. Place your palm on the center of your chest, right on the bone. You must feel a powerful physical vibration under your hand. As if a motor is running. There. If there is no vibration, hit yourself lightly with a fist on the chest while humming, like Tarzan. This helps wake up the RESONATOR. MMMM. And now a secret nuance from Special Ops. Continuing to hum into the chest, start slowly turning your head left and right, up and down. Why? Most men have overstressed sternocleidomastoid muscles in the neck. They strangle your larynx like a noose. By turning your head while sounding, you stretch these muscles and free the larynx. The sound becomes free, wide, enveloping. This rumble is that very white noise of testosterone that makes women weak in the knees. Before a date, an important call, or negotiations, lock yourself in the bathroom and hum like this for 2 minutes. You will walk out of there with the voice of a CNN announcer, not a schoolboy at the CHALKBOARD. Do you feel the difference? These are not just tips. This is a restructuring of your biological interface. Exactly this level of depth, no fluff. Only biomechanics and psychology will be in every one of my videos. If you are looking for a channel where they do not baby you but give you weapons for life, this is the best moment to subscribe. Psycholinguistics of intonation. But timbre is just the ammo. Your intonation is the scope. You can possess a bass like Darth Vader, but if you use the wrong speech melody, you will sound like a servant. The main enemy of your dominance is an epidemic of modern society that linguists call speak rising intonation. Listen to yourself from the outside. How do you finish sentences? Does your voice go up? Hi, let us meet at 7? The intonation crawls up at the end. To the listener's subconscious. This sounds like a question. Even if semantically it is a statement, the music of your voice says, I'm not sure. Can we meet? Please approve this. I am not imposing, am I? This is a bottom position. This is seeking validation. This is the behavior of a beta individual who fears conflict and seeks the pack approval. A hypnotic voice always, without exception, uses downspeak descending intonation. At the end of every phrase. You must put not just a period. You must put a lead seal. You sort of hammer a nail with the last word. Your voice falls down to the lowest note of your range. High. Let us meet at 7. Voice drops down. Asterisk. This is not a question. This is an instruction. This is a fact of reality, not subject to discussion. Reprogramming exercise. Take a simple compliment phrase. You look beautiful today. Say it with a question. In up, speak you look beautiful today. Do you feel how pathetic that sounds? You are looking for confirmation. Say it flatly. You look beautiful today. Boring, like a robot. And now say it with an affirmation. Dropping the voice at the end to the very bottom. Making pauses between words. You look beautiful. Today. Power. Train this on cashiers, on colleagues, in taxis. Never finish a phrase up unless you are asking a direct grammatical question. The period at the end of a phrase is the signature of an alpha. People with high status do not ask permission to speak. They assert the truth. Secret technique devil whisper. And finally, a technique for the most intimate moments. Top Gun level, when you are already with her. When the distance is reduced to a minimum. When you smell her scent. Here many men make a mistake: they continue to push with bass. This is too aggressive for close range. You must switch to subtone mode. This is a mixture of voice and whisper. You add a huge amount of air to your low register. You are not whispering, because a whisper is sound without vocal cords. But you are speaking with a voice wrapped in air. This creates an effect of intimacy, an effect of secrecy, as if you are trusting her with a secret that could destroy the world. But the most important thing in this technique is not the sound. The most important thing is the pause. Jung said that silence is the space where God speaks. In our case, silence is the space where her desire speaks. Weak men are terrified of pauses. If silence hangs in a conversation, they start getting nervous, chattering, choking, just to fill the airwaves. They are afraid of losing attention. A strong man uses silence as a weapon. You say a phrase, and you go silent. You look into her eyes and hold the pause. You do not look away. You wait. At this moment, tension builds in her head. This is a vacuum. Nature abhors a vacuum, and a woman will instinctively want to fill it with her laughter, her excuse, or a kiss. Try this combo. Say into her ear with your new chest subtone with descending intonation, "I know what you are thinking," and go silent. Just look. At that moment, her logical brain will shut down. Only instincts will remain, and these instincts will belong to you. Your voice is a sword. Until today, it was rusty and blunt, and you tried to chop down a tree with it. Now you have a whetstone. If you apply the royal exhale and chest rumble, you will change not just the sound. You will change your self-sensation. As the Stoics said, master yourself, and you will master the world. Voice is the bridge between your inner world and reality. Make this bridge solid. Voice is the only muscle that can touch another person without touching them physically. Think about that. You can stroke her with your voice. You can hit her with your voice. You can arouse her with your voice. This is telekinesis accessible to everyone, but used by the few. Do not be someone who just makes sounds. Be someone who transmits vibration. The world is overflowing with noise. Become a signal. Become the frequency one wants to tune into. And then you will not have to chase women, money, or respect. They will come to your sound themselves. Because in a world of chaos, everyone is drawn to a source of order. And a low, calm, confident voice is the highest form of order. But remember, voice is a powerful instrument of influence on hearing, on vibration, on the body. But a woman has one more channel of perception, directly connected to her ancient reptilian brain. A channel that can subordinate her will without a single sound at all. Even before you say hello. The gaze. Asterisk. There is a special type of eye contact, predator optics. It differs from a normal look, just as a combat laser differs from a dim light bulb in a hallway. Most men look in a way that evokes pity, awkwardness, or laughter. Their eyes dart around. I will teach you to look in a way that evokes awe. To look right through the social mask, straight into the soul. In the next video, we will analyze dominance optics. We will analyze micro-expressions and how to transmit an order with your eyes. To not miss this analysis, assemble the full arsenal. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel and have clicked the bell. Start sounding right now.